We're going to start with our group picture. So here we go. Go ahead, Brenna.
If we can hold for just 1 second, can we come back? I thought we were gonna do this at the end of the session.
Okay, yeah, well, we can do that. We can ask at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just ask people if they would like to introduce themselves. So Shelley, you want to start?
I'm Shelley, and I'm the director at the Harrington Public Library.
Amy?
Me, Amy?
Yeah.
I'm Amy. I'm the library director of a small rural library in Otis, Kansas.
Great. And Lavetta? Lavetta, are you able to introduce yourself? Maybe she's going to do it in the chat. All right, she's the director in Bison. Okay, well, welcome everyone. I'm going to let our ACC members introduce themselves. Leah, you want to start?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Leah Henriksen. I am one of the new digital equity coordinators here at KC Digital Drive. And there are 4 of us total. We are all ACC AmeriCorps members. And the other 2 are Kyra and Brenna. I'll let Kyra, do you want to go next?
Sure, thanks, Leah. Hey everyone, my name is Kyra. I'm another digital equity coordinator here at KC Digital Drive. Very excited for you all to get this information and see how to implement ACP at your library. I'll pass it to Brenna.
Hey y'all, I'm the person that you all received the invite email from. Thank you all for being here, and I hope that this benefits your communities.
All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get us going on our presentation, and then we'll have time for questions, hopefully at the end. So a little bit about KC Digital Drive. We were founded in 2012 by the city of Kansas City, Missouri, and then Wyandotte County and KCK have a unified government. And we were founded to address the digital equity issues that were revealed when Google Fiber came to town. And so it just became abundantly clear that we had parts of our region that just really weren't connected. And so in that way, we have sought to bridge the digital divide and improve life in the community for all, including families and children from our founding. And so we work on a number of things, including digital inclusion, but also entrepreneurship and innovation, and the intersection of those two. So how we work in the community, we're a community builder, work on ecosystem development, and through that work, we often identify projects that then are sort of fine-tuned through our solutions lab. We often serve as a backbone organization for those projects. Sometimes we are a contributor or act as a consultant, a public benefit consultant, and deliver on those projects with partners. And in that way, we can do more together. And the ACP Outreach Grant is one of those projects where we are looking to collaborate with other organizations in the community, get the word out about this program. So about the Affordable Connectivity Program, or ACP, it's a longer-term $14.2 billion program that was included in the infrastructure law. It provides a monthly discount up to $30 per eligible household for internet service with the provider of their choice, as long as that provider is participating in the program. The ISP receives the funds directly from the federal government. They don't go to the individual. and it's administered by this nonprofit called USAC. And they also oversee another program you might be familiar with called Lifeline. And another benefit that's part of this program is a one-time discount of $100 for a device that you can get with a copay of more than $10 but less than $50, and that's for a laptop, desktop, or tablet. The catch is that the device has to be purchased from the same ISP that you are receiving your internet service from, and unfortunately, most of the, well, all of the larger ISPs are not participating except for possibly Cox might be, so you could check to see if you have Cox Communications in your area, whether they are offering that device discount, because you have to get your device from the same ISP that you get your service from, unfortunately. And so we're hoping in the next go around of this that they will uncouple those two benefits, but for right now, that's the situation. So as I mentioned, we got an outreach grant from the FCC to try and increase the number of households enrolled in this program, and that is both for the Kansas City region as well as throughout the state of Kansas, except for Topeka. So we've got the whole state, which is why we were reaching out to all the Kansas libraries. So the fastest way to apply and get approved is to go online. And we have created sort of a landing page that helps people understand the program a little bit more and figure out what program they might be able to get qualified through, as well as the documents they might need in order to apply. So that's at getacptoday.org. You can also print an application and mail it in. This might be something people might want to do at the library just because, you know, they're new to technology or they're uncomfortable with online forms, that sort of thing. They are still going to have to provide some documentation along with their application. So one way or another, you're going to make a copy of their driver's license or you know, some other kind of identification. So that's going to be floating around you know, at the ACP support center that's going to process their application. So if somebody's uncomfortable providing that, they're just not going to be able to apply. And they can also potentially apply through their internet service provider who might have their own application portal. So this is what's needed: an email address, again, some sort of legal form of ID. The easiest way to do it online is to provide the last 4 digits of the Social Security number. They can also provide any of these other documents. And if they have a foreign driver's license or foreign passport, as long as it is current, that's okay. So these are some further examples. And we will send out this PowerPoint after the webinar so that you can have that for reference. So this is who qualifies. If someone is anyone in the household is participating in one of these federal programs. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the applicant. It just could be somebody in the household. So for instance, you know, maybe someone has a child who is disabled and they're on SSI and or Medicaid, then you know, they might qualify through their child. Or if the husband's applying and the wife is on WIC, then they might qualify that way. So it just has to be someone in the household. can also qualify through their income. So this is the income guidelines, and it's at 200% of their gross income for the federal poverty guidelines. So these are some of the document examples to prove your income, and it's a nice broad range of documents. One thing to note is that if you're going to do it through pay stubs, they have to be 3 consecutive months that are dated within the last 12 months. So that kind of makes it hard for people who work sporadically. But hopefully if that's the case, they can qualify through one of those federal programs. They can also qualify through their child if they are participating in the free and reduced price school lunch program. And that is whether they are individually qualified based on their income, or whether they attend a school that's known as the Community Eligibility Provision, or CEP schools. And that happens when 25% or more of the students qualify based on income for free and reduced price lunch. So after that, all students in the school are going to qualify for it. They just need to prove that they attend that school. So the documentation has to include the student's name, be on letterhead, and then have a date that's from the current school year. So they can only get 1 monthly service discount per household. And a household is a group of people who live together and share money and expenses. So if you have, families who are living together, but they're not sharing their money, they have separate budgets. Maybe one family is just paying to live there, or maybe you have a house that has multiple apartments within the same address, then those are separate households. My example is I have a tenant who lives in my finished basement. I share my Wi-Fi with her, but if I decided that I didn't want to do that, she could either get her own hotspot or her own service under her own name. And we are 2 separate households because we do not share money at all. And she just pays me a small amount of rent to live there. So if you're not sure whether someone is one or more household, there's a worksheet that they can go through and determine that. So some things to note, the ACP doesn't take into account one's immigration status, and it won't qualify under the public charge test to potentially knock them off the path of obtaining their green card or sponsoring a family member. So because the money goes from the federal government to the ISP and not the applicant. So if someone's concerned about that, you can assure them that that is not going to affect that. And if someone is not documented, they may be able to qualify through their child because they may qualify for free and reduced price lunch, or attend a CEP school. There may be someone who's on WIC, or someone in the household who has received a federal Pell Grant. And if you want more information about the public charge test, there are a couple of links here that were included in information that we got from the education superhighway training that they provide on ACP, which we'll send the link out for that as well in our follow-up. So if you're working, I know libraries, I'm not sure about how common this is in smaller towns, but in the urban libraries, they work with a lot of people who are unhoused. And so someone who is highly mobile or unhoused can still qualify for ACP. They just are going to enter 123 homeless or the address of the shelter where they're staying, and then there'll be some additional steps they have to take to verify their address, and then they could choose a plan that supports mobile internet. And so just getting the approved for the discount is the first step. They still have to notify their internet service provider that they have it. There's an application ID that they will receive at the end of the process, and they give that to their provider in order to have the discount applied to their account. And then if they don't have service, they can go on getinternet.gov, which is where they will ultimately end up applying and find a company in the list. The list is not the easiest to navigate. There's going to be a ton of providers that come up and they may not all serve that individual address. So you'll probably know what companies serve your community and are able to kind of narrow it down from there. Another thing to note is that ISPs can't run a credit check for internet service only, but they can if other services like voice or TV are added. The other thing is that if someone had service and was unable to pay for it and it got disconnected, and then they still owe the company money, maybe it was sent to collections, they cannot be denied service if they are approved for the Affordable Connectivity Program. So, and they don't have to pay off that balance before getting their service up. So we have a portal, and this is for our marketing materials, and you're able to request those. We have bookmarks and other kinds of digital files that you can request. If you want to print the flyers yourself that are 8.5 by 11, you're welcome to do that. Or if you'd like any of the materials printed for you, and we can mail those to you, you can request that through this portal. And the person who will be engaging with you on that is Leah. And so her information is here, and she'll be reaching out to you as the follow-up to this webinar so that we can determine how we can assist you in supporting your community and getting more people signed up for ACP. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing and see if there are any questions. Yeah, so Amy, you just have to do one identity document. And that could be any of those in that list. But if you use the last 4 digits of your Social Security number, you don't have to upload any other kind of identification. On rare occasions, sometimes there's been a question of whether or not the applicant is still alive. I know this is odd, but then you have to submit what they call proof of life, which is like something showing that they've had activity at some point recently as a person, as a live person. Again, that's pretty rare, but it might happen. Yeah, somebody holding today's newspaper. I'm still here. So yeah, any other questions? Well, we really appreciate you being here, and are excited to help you help us get the word out about this benefit. I will say, it is a finite amount of money, and they do anticipate that it will run out sometime in April or May of next year. And there are advocacy efforts happening. now to try and get that renewed. President Biden has requested $6 billion to keep it going. And there are some bills in Congress to try and keep the fund going. And so we'll see what happens. I think we're hopeful that it will get refunded. And it just may not be at the same level of at the 200% of federal poverty income guidelines, which will knock some people out. But I think that we have to be realistic about where we can go from here. So so stay tuned, and fingers crossed that we'll continue to have this benefit available. But in the meantime, as our digital skills trainer Carol Myers says, if you saw 3 $10 bills lying on the floor, would you just walk on by? And I said, heck no, I'd pick them up and tell everybody for weeks that I found $30 on the floor. So, it is only $30, but for some families, that's a lot. And some ISPs are offering plans that are $30 or less. So it effectively makes them have access to free internet at home. So that's what we're doing. And we're so happy to have you as partners. Any last questions? Yeah, can we do our picture real quick? Yeah, that's so true, Kyra. Amy, we were going to take a quick picture if you are amenable to that. There we go. Awesome. Okay, here we are. You ready, Brenna?
I don't know why it's not working. Hold on. Oh, wait, Leah, do we need to redo it? Okay. Thank you all so much for coming.
Yes, and we'll be following up. So if you end up with any questions that hit you in the shower, that's what happens to me. We will be happy to answer them. So have a great rest of your day. And again, thanks for being here.